And liftoff. I am back in glorious 720p. Any other resolution and it wouldn't be me. But if I was wearing my white car, I could probably get about twice as far, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it rhymes, and as far as I know, that's not a crime. Don't give them any ideas, though. This violent assault on the concept of human intelligence has something to rant about. Church music. I bet you never would have guessed. But no, it's not about how we should have a pipe organ at St. George, though we should totally have a pipe organ at St. George. I don't know, click the link to donate or something. Link in description. But anyway, back to the subject at hand, besides how beautiful this lake in the mountains is. Can you imagine how cool it would be to live here? Have your own personal lake and a cabin off that way that used to exist, but it burned down when we had a forest fire? It would be freaking sweet to live in the mountains and have my own personal lake and my own cabin that hopefully wouldn't be burned down by a forest fire. But getting back to the subject at hand, let me check and make sure there's no ticks on me. I don't see any ticks. All right, let's keep going. Church music, specifically, there is a really horrible idea out there called Appalachian Orthodox chant, and I'm going to offend some people with this video, so I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, but I'm gonna offend some people, so you're just gonna have to get ready for it. So there are some people online promoting this idea that they're calling Appalachian Orthodox chant. It is an artificial construct invented by people who are outsiders to Appalachian culture. And I don't like it at all. It sounds like it is derived from sacred harp, and I hate sacred harp. Sorry if you're a sacred harp enjoyer, and I'm just totally raining on your parade there, but I mean, it sounds like the tortured howling of a dying animal or something like that. I mean, it's just awful sound. Like how any person on earth could hear those sounds and think, oh, that's beautiful music, is beyond my comprehension. And someone decided to take this unredeemably horrible style of music and make it into Orthodox music, like arrange Orthodox hymns to melodies that are dissonant and atonal and whatever other words apply to that style of music. It's genuinely horrible. I don't know if I'm going to put any links. Maybe I'll put some links in here, but I'm not going to cut any footage out. If you want to listen to that absolute horror, you can go and find it pretty easily on the internet yourself. And I think it's genuinely horrifying. But if you want to subject yourself to that sonic acoustic torture, that auditory torture, you go right on ahead and do that. I'm not going to put any of it in my video. Plus, I don't want someone to get their feelings hurt because my opinion is different than theirs. And I don't know, try to copyright strike me because I used music that they think is wonderful in my video where I'm talking about how genuinely horrifying it is. But yeah, Appalachian Orthodox music is an artificial construct, a pastiche of a form of music that didn't exist in nature at any point in time. If you want to make American Orthodox music, there are some really nice, beautiful, dignified examples of American Orthodox music already in existence. I'm just looking down to make sure there's no ticks on my leg, and I didn't see any, thank God. That breeze is really nice. Oh, that breeze feels so good. Anyway, it's something that existed in nature at no point in time. And I think that if, I don't know, 100 or 200 years ago, there would have been a mass conversion to Orthodoxy in this region of the country, they would have just started using the music that already existed, and they probably would have translated it into English, and that would have been it. I'm sure that new compositions would have been made later, but no one would have taken, this is partially my opinion, I don't think anybody, say, in the Appalachian region, converting to Orthodoxy at any historical point in time, at any point in time before now, would have been like, hey, let's take this sacred harp music and adapt it to Orthodox hymnography, or whatever the word is. Because no one from Appalachia ever did that. That was done by elitists from outside our culture, who thought it would be cool to take the worst elements of American culture and put them into Orthodoxy, impose them on Orthodoxy. And like, no, don't. Please, spare us. There are much finer examples of American Orthodox music that are beautiful and dignified and heavenly sounding. There is a composer in the OCA. His name is Dr. Vladimir Morosan. Am I saying his name correctly? Anyway, he has composed some really nice music, and he did. There is couldn't think of the word I was going to say. Capella Romana, a singing group that does Orthodox music, performed some of his works in an album called Lay Aside All Earthly Cares. I totally recommend that you buy that album. Tell them I sent you there too. I'm not being sponsored by them, but if hordes of people go and buy their music because I said to, maybe that'll change. Anyway, Lay Aside All Earthly Cares, a very beautiful recording of some very beautiful music, very beautifully performed. So there is an example of American Orthodox music that I think is very fine and beautiful and dignified and worthy and appropriate. Also, and this is going to be slightly controversial to people who are not me, but all those Greek Orthodox composers that compose music for the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese in America, I mean, that technically could be considered American Orthodox music. And I know a lot of people want to write that off because it's Greek, but it's also American. And it was done in America. So, and what the Greeks did was they adapted American musical traditions into their own music. And I personally think it's really cool. Now, some of it doesn't sound that great. And yes, that's just my opinion, just like my opinion about the tortured howling of dying animals that is the sound of Appalachian Orthodox music. But some of it is very beautiful. What am I saying? I got distracted. Squirrel! All right, trying to get back on topic. Some of that music, some of this Byzantine music is not well adjusted to Western music, but some of it has actually been done very well. And so I'm going to make a recommendation. Again, Tikey Zes choral works is a recording, once again, by Capella Romana. They're insanely good. In fact, Capella Romana has recorded 2 albums of liturgical music composed by Tikey Zes. If you don't know who he is, you need to find out, because that is some American Orthodox music right there. It's really beautiful. It's polyphonic. It uses organ. It sounds Western. It's very cool. I mean, if you want to be American Orthodox, I think you should adopt that. It sounds like it comes from a Western musical tradition. And I'm not opposed to just doing Byzantine music or Russian music or whatever like that. But if you want to invent an American style of music, I think the Greeks actually, and this might be a slightly controversial opinion, but I think the Greeks did a fine job with their compositions by Tikey Zes. There's another composer. His name is Kypros. He also has composed a really beautiful setting for the Divine Liturgy called the Liturgy of Peace. I think that was done in the early 80s. And it's a really beautiful setting. You should totally listen to it if you can find a recording of it. Unfortunately, Capella Romana hasn't recorded that, so good luck finding a nice recording of it. There is probably a choir somewhere in some church that has recorded it. If you can find one, you owe it to yourself to give it a listen. It is very cool music. Like I said, we don't need to reinvent American Orthodox music because it's already been done. And this is my opinion and a spicy take. I think the Greeks actually did a nice job with their choral music. There might be some settings that are not great, that are, I don't know, just sound a little off, because adjusting Byzantine music to Western musical rules, can be done badly if you're not careful. But there are also, like I said, some really beautiful examples of it, and you owe it to yourself to give it a listen. Like I was trying to say, there is some very beautiful American Orthodox music already. We don't have to adopt the worst music that has ever been invented on this continent and impose it on Orthodoxy. I don't know. Don't hold your breath, but one of these days I'm going to post another video where I expose more of my opinions, because I'm very opinionated, about Orthodoxy, beauty, architecture, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. There seems to be a love of all things unbeautiful in what I'm going to call American Orthodox Incorporated, which is like, I don't know, it feels artificial to me. It feels like it's something being promoted by elitists, to me. I don't know who's actually behind this stuff. I don't know who invented Appalachian chant, or whose idea it is to make things as unbeautiful and undecorated as possible. But I want Orthodox churches to be like dripping with the most beautiful, ornate, hand-carved wood and gold and exploding with color and stuff like that. I don't want there to be a bunch of plain wood and it's just like, oh, well, look at that beautiful dovetailing there, and look at that nice wood grain. Well, I want to see some nice carving. I want to see some art. Don't just be like, oh, well, we planed down this piece of pine really nicely. Okay, that's great. Now we can do something with that pine. I don't know why this like professional American Orthodox Inc. wants to create a very austere and plain and unbeautiful version of Orthodoxy that exists nowhere else in the world. Orthodoxy is beautiful. It should stay beautiful. Stop trying to ruin it. I'm going to make more videos where I rant about that. But I wanted to rant specifically about Appalachian Orthodox music. As I stand here in the kind of the edge of Appalachia here in the mountains of South Carolina, and notice that, I don't know, it just seems to me like the influence is coming from outside of this region and the people who live here, who are Orthodox Christians. It's coming from people who are from outside our culture, who think that we should have that music. And I don't know about you, but I want the most beautiful music that it's possible to have go in my ears or come out of my mouth. I don't want the tortured howling and moaning of a dying animal to fill the space where we worship. I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings, but that's my opinion. And you're just going to have to live with it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hype, and do all that other stuff. And, I don't know, help me get St. George pipe organ, because I'm not going to stop ranting about that until it happens, or till I die, whichever one comes first. Hopefully the pipe organ. Bye-bye now.